This is the Star News Brief. I'm Joely Regi. Kenya Catholic bishops have questioned the rationale for a rush to hold a referendum in the backdrop of a limping economy occasioned by the effects of COVID-19 ravaging the country. In a statement issued on Thursday after their retreat in Nakuru County, the bishops also raised 4 issues about the BBI report, which they noted were not aimed at helping the country. They noted that the proposed expanded executive creates an imperial president while the bloated parliament structure was unnecessary. The bishops also took issue with the politicization of the IEBC by allowing political parties to select commissioners as proposed by the report. They also said that the proposed Kenya Police Council would compromise the independence of the police by the executive. Get a copy of The Star by subscribing to our e-paper for only 10 shillings by dialing *550*3#. President Uhuru Kenyatta used the annual State of the Nation address to drum up support for the Building Bridges Initiative report. The president told Parliament that it was important to support the proposed amendments because they are aimed at securing the future of the country. Members of Parliament are critical to the upcoming referendum process as the bill will go to them if passed by 24 county assemblies. Uhuru said that major changes are needed to our constitution and other laws so as to lay the foundation for the prosperous future that the country seeks. He added that Kenyans should constructively and objectively consider the recommendations in the report as the country enters into implementation. President Uhuru Kenyatta has said Education CS George Magoha will announce a new academic calendar in the next 14 days after a meeting with stakeholders. The president made the statement during his 7th State of the Nation address on Thursday. He said the classes conducting in-person learning are closely being monitored to ensure the safety of the learners and teachers amid rising cases of COVID-19. The president said that his government is committed to its mandate to ensure that no child is left behind. This will ensure all children across the country access basic education, he said. Uhuru said going forward, he has directed the Ministry of Education and Transport to ensure by January, some 12,500 new classrooms and other school-related infrastructure are established across the country to mitigate congestion.
We shall have the necessary resources to address the infrastructure gap to our education sector. For every shilling that we put into school infrastructure, we must seek to obtain more classes built to acceptable standards.
Will William Ruto be the first deputy president in Kenya to succeed his boss? None of his 10 predecessors was lucky. They were a heartbeat away from the seat of power, but it eluded them. Daniel Arap Moi had to wait until Jomo Kenyatta died to succeed him. As Kenya's number 2, Ruto stands at a unique moment in the country's presidential succession history. The 10 men who occupied that perch before him were all appointees of the president. They typically kept a low profile, fearful not to appear to outshine the boss. Only first Vice President Jaramogi Oginga Odinga openly contradicted his boss and inevitably quit office. Ruto is not President Uhuru Kenyatta's appointee. They came into office under one ticket. Uhuru cannot wake up one morning and fire him. Read this analysis in your copy of The Star Weekend on Saturday. Cash-strapped medical supplies agency Kemsa is now pleading with the government to write off the 2.3 billion shilling loss it incurred in the messy procurement of COVID-19 kits. The agency, which is under EACC probe, is broke, with its management saying they are unable to fund critical operations and emergencies. Communications between the agency board and the health ministry have laid bare the extent of the mess at the parastatal. So bad are things that the board is seeking a 5 billion shilling bailout from the National Treasury to cushion the entity from serious effects of the loss write-off. Kemsa Finance Director Waiganjo Karanja said the situation is dire as they have no provision to spend on emergencies. Kemsa is stuck with a 6.4 billion shilling stock of goods, whose procurement is subject of investigations by the EACC and National Assembly's Public Investments Committee. Since the COVID-19 pandemic hit the Kenyan shores, the tourism sector has borne the wrath of it. Hotels at the Kenya coast have had to close for business and just recently reopened. With prospects of the return to normalcy still out of reach, the tourism sector is rebranding, and the Star explores how things have changed at the coast. A Star writer completed a 6-day tour of the coast tourism circuit for the first time in his life, and indeed it proved that the region has unique tourism attractions. The group, consisting of journalists and officials from the Kenya Tourism Board, covered 3 counties, including Kilifi, Taita Taveta, and Mombasa, to sample the diverse excursions, tourism resorts, game drives, historical sites, and other tourism destinations. Read this experience in the Star on Friday. Get a copy of the Star by subscribing to our e-paper for only 10 shillings by dialing *550*3#. You can also get more on the Star website.